Welcome to Entrepreneurs, Executives, and Eccentrics, a podcast dedicated to the stories, strategies, and secrets of remarkable individuals. Join us as we engage in enlightening conversations with intriguing entrepreneurs, accomplished executives, and fascinating eccentrics, exploring their journeys, triumphs, and unconventional wisdom that has shaped their success. Get ready to meet Stephen Key. He's helped bring global hits like Teddy Ruxpin and Laser Tag to market. As the founder of Inventor, he has mentored thousands of inventors and collaborated with major brands like Disney and McDonald's, earning global recognition for his innovative work.
Hello there. Tell me who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Stephen Key, and I'm an inventor. I come up with ideas. And instead of starting a company, I license or rent those ideas to companies. And if they take it, they manufacture it, they sell it, they market it, they do everything I don't want to do. And then They send me a royalty every month.
That sounds glorious. Okay, so give us an example of an idea that you have had that you went and just marketed the hell. Well, you didn't market shit, right? You licensed to somebody else, and they put their name on it, and they marketed the heck out of it.
Well, I'm a big basketball fan, and I'm going to grab this real quick. And I had noticed that the indoor basketball games, it was just a square backboard, and they were boring, and I wanted to do something that was exciting, and I love Michael Jordan. So I took a poster of Michael Jordan, put it on the backboard, pretty simple, sent it to a toy company, Ohio Art. They licensed it, and they paid Michael his royalty, and they paid me my royalty. It has sold for over 10 years at every major retailer. And the prototype was made out of paper. Maybe I spent, $10 on it. And it's a beautiful business model for people like me that do not want to start businesses, but want to be creative and use or leverage the power of these big companies that are already in the space of manufacturing, marketing, selling, doing all the things I don't want to do.
Because that's you've been doing your own thing for quite some time, but now you're kind of doing this for other people, right? So if I had an idea and I had some intellectual property around it, I could come to you and then you go, great, I'll take a piece of that, but I'll also get this in stores for you by getting it licensed. How does that work exactly?
Well, Scott, I was so amazed that more people didn't really realize that product licensing's been around for hundreds of years. It's not new, but most entrepreneurs think they have to start a business. So I just started talking about it, and everybody was a little surprised how easy it can be, how you can work with companies anywhere in the world. I found my voice. I was kind of happy. I was just so happy someone was paying me to do something I truly love. And that turned into a company called Invent Right. You want to invent right, not wrong. And we've been educating our fellow creative people all around the world for over 25 years on this process of how to rent or license your ideas to companies for royalties.
That's really glorious. So but do I need to already have the IP, or are you going to help get the IP? How's that work exactly?
Well, everybody's very fearful of, will someone steal my idea? And I'm here to tell everyone, everybody's really shocked. And patent attorneys, they really don't like for me to give you some of these secrets here. But the truth is that I would say 95% of all the products that I see that we help get licensed, there's no patent. No one owns anything. Now, why is that? Well, most ideas go in and out of the market fairly quickly. And it's hard to stop people today from kind of, maybe copying, copycats out there that love what you're doing. So companies don't really care because they're not going to sue everybody, but they do need good ideas. It's really about being first. It's about good customer service. It's about having an idea that these companies, their audience or consumers want. It's about speed to market too today. So no, I don't think you need IP, intellectual property. I don't think you need patents. I think you need a good provisional patent application that gives you the option or the company the option to file for a real patent. So it's not what people think. And companies just don't steal ideas. That's crazy. This thing that's called open innovation, where they've opened their doors and they want to see ideas from people like us. If they steal your idea, the doors close. It makes no sense. And can you imagine being in a room with your fellow, your fellow associates, and someone goes, "Hey, let's steal that idea"? I don't think that would go over very well. Right.
What's interesting is that I get asked to sign NDAs 3 times a year, and every single time I'm like, no one is going to steal your Twitter for cats, man. No one's stealing your Facebook for accountants. Okay, no one's doing that. No, I'm not signing your NDA, and no, it's not that special. The execution of the idea is typically 99% of it, right? Having ideas is part of it, but it's also kind of showing other people how they can kind of execute it, all that kind of stuff. I don't sign NDAs as a result. I think you're on probably the same spot a little bit.
Yeah, people don't understand NDAs to begin with, Scott. They think they're protection tools. No, they're not protection tools. They're all about, hey, keep it confidential. I will keep it confidential. We can share information. If you're scared that a company is going to steal your idea, there's some things that you could do to make sure you're dealing with the company you want to work with. If they're not on social media, I might avoid that company. If they're selling products today, okay, I'll tell you the reason why.
Oh, that's it. That's very interesting. Wait a minute. So if they're not really chatty, right? They're probably pretty dangerous. Is what it sounds like.
Well, come on. You cannot hide today, because you're going to be poked, right? So what's happening today is it's really simple. If someone's not on social media, they just don't want the arrows in the back. Okay, I get it. All right. So the other thing too, look at the products they're currently selling, and if they have a lot of bad reviews, you might not want to deal with them either. But better yet, all you have to do is type in complaints and lawsuits on anybody you want to work with. And if it looks like they've had some trouble with other people, you might want to step over that company and find somebody else. So there's simple things that you could do. And if they treat you poorly at the very beginning, it's never going to get better. So find the companies that love to work with us creative people, and they embrace the word open innovation, meaning they want to work with people on the outside of their walls.
It's fascinating. So it's just like if they're already litigious, they're probably still going to be litigious when you deal with them. Is that what I'm hearing? Got it. Okay. So let's talk about that bear behind you on your back right shoulder. Let's talk about where, so we had talked before, and you said kind of your very beginning was your very opening kind of salvo, your entry into this industry was with that bear. Can we talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, I was very fortunate that I had read an article. I was living in Fremont, California, and I was making stuffed animals. I taught myself how to be a pattern maker. What a weird thing that is. And there was an article about this new startup company called Worlds of Wonder, and they had this first talking teddy bear called Teddy Ruxpin. And Teddy Ruxpin, it was just a prototype, and it looked kind of ugly. So on Monday, I just found the company, knocked on their door and said, "You need to hire me." And they didn't know what they were doing. And I clearly wasn't real sure what I was doing, but I could make teddy bears. So they hired me, and Worlds of Wonder became pretty popular. We sold over 5 million Teddy Ruxpins. We're one of the largest toy companies in the world. And from that, we launched Laser Tag, and it changed my life completely.
I was just going to mention Laser Tag. I had forgotten that was Worlds of Wonder. That's bonkers. I mean, they were just hit after hit after hit there for a while.
We thought so, but we made a few mistakes there too. Worlds of Wonder, I think the reason why it worked, we were in Silicon Valley. Most of the people there were willing to take risk. And since we weren't from the toy industry, we thought we could do anything. And so I remember going out to Toy Fair in New York, and we went to Hasbro because, I mean, here we have the first talking teddy bear, and they have little army men. I mean, it was like we were so far ahead of everybody else, and Laser Tag was next. So the whole world, the whole toy industry was amazed by, or high-tech stuff, bringing it to toys. So it was, I was employee number 20, and a year later we had 1,000 employees.
It's crazy. It's funny because I remember my neighbor's daughter had a Teddy Ruxpin, and we always thought it was hilarious because it had little tapes, right? And we could put Metallica or like Van Halen in the back of it, and it would kind of work a little bit, right? And it would just kind of mouth to the music a little bit, right? And I thought it was the greatest. I think I was like 10 years. I was really young. 19, I guess probably 1980 something, right, when that came out.
Yeah.
It was magic. It was freaking magic.
Well, what was really crazy about that, working at that company, and all of us were very involved and very passionate. We were all just excited to be part of it. But you should have seen what the engineers were doing with Teddy Ruxpin in the back room. And I have these photographs of what they did with Teddy. I'm afraid to show it to anybody because they were just going crazy, fixing it, building it, and the craziness of a startup. So it was a lot of fun. It changed my life forever too. Yeah.
That's glorious. Okay. So you're with WoW for a while, right? And time passes, having hit after hit. You're like, this is never going to end, right? And then it ended, right? This is going to go on forever. And then it did not. So what was that next step for you beyond that?
Well, I left early. You see, I was on the production line. I was manager of design. So my job was to make sure to work with the engineers, design to make sure our licensors would sign off. So I got to work with Henson, the group, the Muppets, and Disney and everybody else. So I had a great job. And then once they signed off on the prototype, my job was to go overseas to help with some of the manufacturing. So I got to travel the world. But I'm on this production line in China. I've been there for 3 months. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm on the production line and fixing things. And I'm realizing my father had told me something that I didn't understand at the time what he said. He said, Steve, in order to create great wealth, a couple of things have to happen. Number one, you need to find something that doesn't require your hands. You need to find something that has a multiplying effect, but something that doesn't even require your presence. And so I'm on this production line with Teddy Ruxpin, and it dawns on me that the inventor of Teddy Ruxpin, Ken Forsythe, he wasn't there, wasn't using his hands, and the multiplying effect was the royalties of that factory. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do what he's doing because he was making $1 million in royalties a month. So I quit. I said, I'm done with this. I want to start licensing. And that's what he did. He licensed the technology to Worlds of Wonder. And that's what it clicked to me. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come up with ideas, leverage those ideas to companies like Worlds of Wonder, let them do all the heavy work, and let me collect the royalty.
That does sound glorious, does it? You realize the guy who came up with, I guess, the idea was not in that factory at 3 a.m. over in China somewhere. You were. And that's that multiplying effect of, being the inventor of something, but not having to be the executor of the actual idea is glorious.
A light went on. I was like, right. So I went back and quit. So I left before that company kind of went in a different direction. I left. I was gone.
Right. So, okay. So what has been, other than what has been your single biggest idea out of morbid curiosity? What has been the thing you're like, that you're like, I just can't even believe this is huge. What is that?
Well, it's real simple. I was fascinated. In fact, after Worlds of Wonder, I'd met a lot of people that wanted me to design things for them. And one particular guy, Andy Hung, wanted me to design fast food giveaways. Those little trinkets you get, like in Happy Meals for McDonald's, things like that. And you only have like 35 cents or something to make the product. I was fascinated by that because of the volume. Those little toys at McDonald's, if you looked at McDonald's as being a toy company, they'd be the largest toy company in the world with these Happy Meals. Pure volume. I was fascinated with the volume. So I went down to McDonald's and I was looking at all the things in there. I said, what can I do? How can I piggyback on one of their products that sell or day in and day out? And I looked at the cups and I was fascinated with cups. I thought, if I had some toy I could put on a cup they sold every day, the royalties would be like out of this world. So I started making prototypes out of cups, and I actually have one. If I could find it really quick, let me find this real quick, because it is truly awful, and you have to see it. Let me grab it real quick. Yeah, let me grab this real quick. Okay, this is ugly, but this is a prototype. You could turn it,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Pretty
glorious.
awful.
No. It's glorious because as a child, like, let's make a funny, like, make a llama and a camel. Let's make a cat and a dog, and it was glorious.
Okay, so it's a McDonald's cup, which is great. It's a prototype I made, and I loved it. And I'm thinking, so I fly out to Chicago. I do the dance on the tabletop with these advertisement guys, and I show them the cup, and they go, "Steve, have you ever seen a cup being made before?" I said, no. Because I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to give you an appointment so you can actually watch a cup being made. So once I watched the cup being made, I realized, oh, they'll never be able to make this. But I thought, they might be able to make this in plastic. And sure enough, I went down to the Disney store, and I thought, well, I will come up with the same concept, but in plastic, and licensed it to a company. And it was rotating. They called it the rotating cup and canteen. And we sold in every Disney store and theme park around the world. I collected royalties on that silly thing. But my big idea, I was fascinated still by things that rotate. And I read this article. Once again, I love the paper changes my life all the time. I read this article about there's never enough information on labels. I thought, well, why don't I make a label that would rotate to get more information? And I'm going to be a genius when I come up with it. So sure enough, here's a water bottle, and here's your little window again. And you spin the label.
Nice.
And we sold probably, I don't know, 500 million of them. Here's one too. This one has a little animation.
God, that's amazing. I'm like 90% sure we bought one of those for my when my son was a child. Probably. There's a high probability that was a Mr. Key product.
So, I mean, even here's one where you would spin it and you could dial the weight of your child, the dosing, to dose your child correctly.
Oh, I've seen that one. Hey, that's Robitussin, isn't it?
So that's my biggest idea. It was called Spinformation. And we sold, I don't know, a lot of labels. Yeah.
That's glorious. That's absolutely glorious. Yeah, because I love the prototype though, but I could sort of seen that prototype actually, like an actual prototype before though.
This has been around for 100 years. Okay, let me tell you what's even worse with this. This rotating thing has been around forever. I didn't invent it. So, but what I do have, those are all patents. And all those patents were on a rotating label. And my patent attorney, everybody told me, you'll never get a patent on a rotating label because it's already been done before. But the catch was no one knew how to manufacture it. So I filed for patents, and I have over 20 patents on how to make a rotating label. And they were all granted. And on an idea that someone else came up with but didn't know how to manufacture it, I figured it out myself.
Oh, that's fast. Like that's, oh my God, so cool. That is fascinating. Like, no. It's not the idea, it's the execution. No. It's the manufacturing of the execution of the idea that I'm actually going to go patent. That's glorious. Okay. So that's crazy. I didn't realize that was like we had talked before for like an hour, but I didn't realize that, you would take a little real estate around the idea of the actual manufacturing of it is where the money was.
Yeah. And I'm not a manufacturing guy at all, but I could see that people wanted it. I could see the demand. In fact, when the label came out, the biggest customer was Rexall Sundown. Alex Trebek was a spokesperson. It was in every Walmart. It was around the world. But I knew at the very beginning, people were fascinated by it, but there was a reason why it didn't come to market, and I needed to find out why. It was because no one knew how to manufacture it. So I just went to factories. I talked to a lot of people and basically figured it out. And it just took someone that wouldn't accept the word no. And so, yeah, figured it out. No big deal.
So, so it's funny. I'm on inventor.com, right? And I'm like, oh, look, the whiskey wedge. We used that last Saturday. I didn't use it, but I saw someone have it because half the glass where you freeze half of it and then the whiskey goes in the glass itself. It's like how many? I mean, I wonder how many things have your fingers touched? Like gazillions? I mean, like a lot of stuff, right?
Well, doing something for 25 years, you get to see a lot of stuff. And and there's projects I've worked on that I think people would be surprised. So it's really about the steps. Product licensing, people don't realize this either. The whole patent system basically was built on product licensing because they knew back in the 1800s, all the innovation that was coming from farmers, and they knew farmers weren't going to leave the farm. So the patent system was set up so farmers could license those technologies by filing patents to businesses. So what I've been doing, it sounds new, but no, it's been around forever. But a lot of people just are not aware of it. But I'll give you one little story real quick. Gatorade, which everybody knows that drink, that was created by some people down in Florida, I think Florida University, I'm not quite sure what school. And they still collect royalties on that beverage. And it's over $1 billion. Over $1 billion, and it will never end. It doesn't end when the patent ends. They get paid forever. So product license.
It was the Florida Gators, the University of Florida.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gatorade. Yeah, I get it now.
Makes total sense.
So the whole thing it's really fun for people that don't want to start businesses. And I've done both, and I don't really want to start a business. But I want to be creative, and I want to leverage the power of a company that has everything in place for the manufacturing, the marketing, the shelf space, because today it's all about speed. If I show a company an idea and they can get to market quickly, that's when they're going to grab all the market share. And it's fun to do because I'm knocking on doors of opportunity. So I come up with ideas and just reach out to companies. And there's thousands of companies that want to work with us because I'll tell you the reason why. People ask me all the time, well, why don't they just take ideas from their employees? Their employees want to go home at 5 o'clock. People like me, we think about it 24 hours a day. We cannot stop thinking about it. And they know that. And they know we're passionate. They know we're a little bit crazed. Those are the people they want to come up with ideas. And that's why they've opened their doors for people like me.
Glorious. Okay, so let's pretend I've come up with some idea, and I'm going to go to your website. I want to figure out how to get it licensed.
Okay.
I go to inventor.com, and what's the process? What am I looking into here? Like, how does this get executed?
Well, I think the first thing you should do is go to my YouTube channel called Inventor TV, because you have to kind of educate yourself first, right? We have a coaching program where we'll coach you, but I want you to be educated a little bit before you come to me. I want you to be ready. When you come to me, I want you to be ready. So watch our YouTube videos. We have over 1,200 videos there. They're fun. They're short. Read a couple books. I have 5 books out there. The most popular one's called One Simple Idea. It's a yellow book. Or articles I write for a lot of the online magazines. But once you're ready and you want someone to help you, because I do believe anybody that's been successful at anything has had a mentor or a coach.
Right.
So
no one just comes out off the bat and just knows what they're doing. You can't be afraid to be the amateur in order to be the master. You just can't do it. You have to start somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I have some people that might have a new football and they're throwing a football product or a new game. They're playing in their front yard. They call me and they say, Steve, I want to submit it to Hasbro. They're telling me they want to play in the Super Bowl and they've never really thrown a football. Okay, You guys, it doesn't really work that way. So you're going to need someone to help you along the way. So we have a coaching program where we hold your hand through everything to make sure you show up, to make sure you do everything right, to get you in that position for a company to say yes or no. And if they say yes, we help you negotiate the deal. And it works. We've been doing it for 25 years. We're very successful at it. We don't let you get away either. Here's the thing about people. They get all excited. They start off really hard, and then they start to get a little discouraged. And we know that. We actually know what month and what step they get a little discouraged on. So we have a program where we don't let them get away. We call them, we bring them back in, say, all right, come on here. You can do this. And they just need that help. I think we all need a little help. So it works. And our bottom line is this. We're going to get you in front of companies. We're going to teach you to do it. We have another program called Gateway, which is very, very different, where we do all the work for you. And if you have a great idea, maybe you're too busy, or maybe you're selling on Amazon and you realize it's not what it's cracked up to be, or you have this garage full of inventory you can't sell, and you're like, what do I do? You can call us, we'll look at it, and if we take it on, we'll find those companies that will want it for you. That's called Gateway. We do all the work for you to make your life easy. So we do it both ways.
I love that you've plugged into the beginning, middle, and end of the revenue. I love that you're like, you know what, I can do this, but I can do this for other people. I could also do this. I can also coach other people. You know, the other thing that caught my eye on your website was, hold on a second, let's see, get this right. Most influential, inspiring leader of all time award. Let's talk about that. How does one get the most influential and inspiring leader of all time award?
Hey,
2022.
Gets you pretty far today, Scott.
I mean, where did you get that award? Did you give yourself that award? Like, how did you get that award exactly?
That award was given to me at the World Intellectual Property Forum in Bangkok. The World IP Forum, with all the lawyers around the world, they get together and they do this every year. And I get this call of they want me to come out and speak at their event. I'm like, why? I'm not a lawyer, but they said, no, we really want you to be there. And they've been following my work for 25 years, 1,000 articles, 5 books. I mean, the volume of work that I've done, I think, has shown them that this guy's really dedicated to education. This guy has gone beyond the call of duty. This guy, what is this guy? What is he doing here? I love this business. So I went out there and they gave me this award, which was I was a little surprised, especially, I mean, these are lawyers. They don't give anything away. And they gave me this award, which is really, really nice. So, and that was, I think, 2 years ago.
That's glorious. And you kind of have, you've touched a lot of people's lives. I think, who doesn't know, anybody over like our age, who doesn't know, well, our age, I guess my age, who doesn't know about Teddy Ruxpin? Who doesn't know about that? As you know, in the 90s and the 80s, who didn't know about that? I mean, it was definitely in our understanding, or like came into our consciousness. I guess I was 8, 9 years old. I mean, you've done a lot in the last 25 years.
Well, I've had a fun, you know, if you really like this business, which I truly love, I want to see people use my products. I want to see people buy them. I'm fascinated by that. That's what motivates me. Yeah. How can I come up with something and someone will share it? And from selling things, I started out selling things at street corners and county fairs, right? And I was fascinated when someone would buy something from me. And the goal of my life is, how can I make products and people can enjoy them all around the world? That's all it's ever been. So, yeah, it's a blast. I wake up every day and it's kind of new and I get to see some wonderful things. I'm still in the game of licensing idea. I have a packaging innovation. Let me show you this. Plastic rings on beverages are terrible. They're bad for the environment. So this product's called Fishbone. This is 100% curbside recyclable, and it eliminates the plastic rings. And that's just launched. In fact, we're at a big trade show now. This is called the C-Clip. And this was licensed to Atlantic Packaging, which is the largest privately held package company in the United States. And there's a team of us, not just me, there's a team. So I'm still in the game of licensing ideas, right? And I think I'll be doing that forever until they have to carry me out of my office here. I love this. So I don't think it ever ends. I don't think it's ever one day that you've learned everything and you stop. So I think you always are learning. There's always great opportunities. I get to see great products, and I'm lucky.
Let's leave it on there. Thank you very much for doing this. I could talk to you for another couple hours, but 30 minutes of time. You know, your career is it's admirable. And I hope that when I'm and I'm in my career, another 10, 15 years that I can look back and kind of feel the same way. But, you clearly love what you do. It's clear. I can see it on your face. I can hear it in your voice. You've stumbled upon your life's, what you were meant to do.
Thank you so much for having me, Scott.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.